How's it going, gamers? This is RebelX here in the War Room, along with my good friend Ronan McCulley, and today we got this luscious little swamp area in the background, which is great because it's fitting for the game we're about to talk about, which is called Evolve, which has just come out for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. It's by Turtle Rock Studios, the same guys who worked on the Left 4 Dead series and a little bit of Counter-Strike, and it's a sci-fi shooter, also a third-person brawler game for when you play as the monster. And just to start things off presentation-wise, I have to say, graphics-wise, they did a really good job.
No, I think it's fantastic. No, the environment comes alive. They have a variety of different creatures and monsters. The monsters themselves are incredible when you watch them evolve, and when you're making themselves stronger. You see the skin shedding. You see all the bumps and boils coming out of it. I mean, it's amazing. The sound
is really well done too. I mean, every single character, their voice acting, they really did a great job of getting the right characters for the right parts. Even the monsters' roars and everything else just sounds really great. My biggest complaint, though, with the sound-wise, is that some of the guns, granted this is futuristic tech we're talking about here, so it's kind of hard to judge it,
right.
But there are some guns, I say for the Trapper class, a couple of the Trapper guys carry the same exact submachine gun. It doesn't sound like a gun to me, like it sounds like firecrackers going off. When you play a game like Battlefield and you have that great sound when you're firing a machine gun or a shotgun or anything like that, it has that oomph noise.
Yeah.
I didn't get that oomph noise with the gun noises here, but presentation-wise, graphic-wise, like you said, the monster looks fantastic. You see all the veins, you see all the scales. The human characters look great too. They're all got this kind of this Western tech feel going on, and even their armor has like rips on it and just really, really great detail. So detail-wise, they did a great job.
Yeah, and all the characters have a very, very distinct look. I mean, and no two characters look the same.
No, they don't.
So, and my only complaint though about some of the environments, some of the bases that you attack kind of look the same. Although
some of the environments do look kind of the same, and obviously you will run into the exact same creatures that inhabit those environments because it's just how the game is designed. But overall, presentation-wise, they did a great job in capturing that alien environment. Now, going off on that, let's talk about story, which, take it away.
Okay.
What a story, huh? Great story. I love this story.
There is no story. There is absolutely no story. They have a setup when you have the first cutscene where they're telling, when the captain is going to be telling you, we're going to go into this hot zone and fight the monsters. But really, when you think about it, that's really, despite the variety of different scenarios you can play, in the end, all it is just humans versus the monster. You just kill the monster.
There is no story. I mean, at least in games like Left 4 Dead that they worked on in the past, every single mission you would do would then lead off to the next one. Like if you got evac from a helipad in a helicopter, the next mission would take place in the forest because the helicopter crashed there. In this, you just go from arena to arena to arena to arena, and there's nothing intertwining it with each other. There's nothing there. Also, too, is that going off what you're saying, you do get treated to a really awesome opening cinematic where you meet all the other hunters, and you find that you realize that they kind of get a little bit of their background of what they like to do for hunting, or where they're not really happy about doing this. But aside from that, which sets up a great premise, they don't run with it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a game that sets up such interesting characters and it doesn't go with it. Granted, when you play as the hunters and you're in the mode and you're playing the game, they will share dialogue with you. They'll talk about, oh, like remember that time back on Alpha 5 or something, I hunted down that monster, or the robot character will say, oh, look, environment over there, we better go test it out, because that's what my computer... I mean, it's all that kind of really quirky dialogue, but nothing has to do with the story. There's no story here.
Yeah, and there's not much of a variety in the missions either. I mean, yeah, there's defending the hatch, defending the nest if you're the monster, and you get maybe there's some with the evac people, but really all it is, even despite that, you just kill the monster. I mean, you don't really see, you don't see them picking up civilians and carrying them to the ships and hoping the ships take off. You're not seeing them go into the stations and getting caught in tunnels anywhere.
You don't really feel like you're saving the world.
No, you're not.
You feel like you've just been thrown in there, because the whole premise of the game is that you're sent down this planet to save survivors. You're there to save people from being killed by these monsters. And now going into that, let's talk about the gameplay now. And what you were just mentioning was a mode called Evacuation Mode, which has these different gameplay modes aside from Hunt, which is obviously the 4 hunters against the monster. You hunt the monster down. There's one called Rescue, where you have to go out and rescue civilians. It's probably the only time you'll actually see other people in the game. And then there's Nest Mode, where the monsters defend the eggs. You have to destroy them as the hunters. They also have Defend Mode, where you have to defend generators as the hunters, and the monster has to destroy the generators. And it's a very fun game mode, but the one that everyone seems to be going towards, obviously, is Hunt Mode, because of the fact that it's a lot more simple and it's a lot more balanced too. Because aside from the objectives that you have to do as hunters, the monster and hunters all have objectives they have to do in evacuation, and in a mode where you're constantly looking out for the monster, or as the monster you constantly have to evolve, having other things to have to take care of aside from the basics, it's a little too much. It's a little too much. People are kind of going, I don't want to have to worry about these stupid eggs if I still have to evolve, or I don't have to worry about saving people if the monster's right on my ass. It kind of sucks that you have to worry about those kind of things. Granted, every single hunter has their own unique abilities. Not one hunter plays the same as the other, neither does the monster, which I think is fantastic. I love how each character plays differently. You will find a character in this game, be either monster or hunter, that you will like to play as, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and also one thing when it comes to the missions where you have to protect the generator because the monsters are going to destroy it, there really is nothing. You don't really see the guys. You don't see the generator blowing up and you have to run and try to turn it off or fix it. It really is just human versus monster. There's really not a variety in the action. And no matter how different the scenario is, it's just 4 people kill a monster, and you have to work together, which is nice. It's strongly focused on team play, but there's nothing beyond just killing the monster, and that's what kind of really, at least for me, they dropped the ball on that one, and it didn't really meet my expectations because of that. There should have been more to it than just when you play Left 4 Dead, there are different scenarios. When you're on a mission, there are different checkpoints you got to keep going to. You'll keep fighting off a herd. You have to wait for the elevator to come pick you up. You have to wait for the evac. You have to wait for things. You turn something on that's going to create a bridge for you, and it makes a noise, and the horde shows up. In this one, there's no steps. There's no progression. It's just show up in one location, kill the monster. Yeah, show up in one location, chase after the monster, run, chase, fight, shoot, and then run again. And that's another problem. There's some parts of the game where you kind of just walking around for a long time and nothing is happening. If you're up against a really good monster player who knows all the ins and outs of the map and they know how to play as the monster, you will literally spend 10 to 15 minutes alone just running around, chasing after this guy. And it could kind of drag. It really kind of drags. The other problem I have with this game too, when that happens, is every single map you play on, there's about 7 different species of animals that roam around it, NPC monsters, some ranging from small to big and whatnot. Now, out of these 7 species of monsters, there are 5 that will automatically attack you, be it monster or hunter. And out of that 5, 4 of these creatures, if you're playing as the hunter, will automatically, if they attack you, will get you stuck in this death animation where you have to sit there and watch as your hunter gets pummeled to death, and you can't do a damn thing. You have to sit there and watch as your hunter fights their way out of a plant, or if they're being attacked by this giant crocodile thing. You have to wait for someone to shoot at this creature or attack it to save you. And I'm sorry, I understand the developers wanted to put you in this bad environment where these creatures can attack and kill you, but nothing is more frustrating in this game when you're in the middle of a battle with a monster, and all of a sudden out of freaking nowhere, a regular inhabitant of the planet, a creature runs right in and starts attacking everybody. A couple of your crew guys get knocked out of the fight because this creature attacked you, or if you're a monster and you're feeding and all of a sudden out of nowhere these pack of dogs come at you and start attacking while you're feeding, so you have to run off and go somewhere else. They went overboard. They went way overboard, and I feel that's kind of like the Achilles heel with this game, is that they didn't quite trust the whole premise of it's hunters against the monster. They had to throw a bunch of other stuff in there. Yeah. And that unfortunately, it hurt the experience a little bit for me a little bit. I understand you want me to put me in this environment where there's danger everywhere, but not to the point where it becomes annoying. It just, I don't know, like playing as a hunter, you really have to stick together as a team, which is exactly what you got to do. But if you even show up even a little bit, the game punishes you. The game just beats the hell out of you with it, and I think that's what a lot of people are being turned off by this game. And the other thing too is that this is a team-based game only. If you like to lone wolf your multiplayer experiences online, stay the hell away from this game. It's true. I mean, granted, you play as the monster, which is a solo experience, but as the hunters, if you are with someone who doesn't know what they're doing, or if they don't like to contribute to the team in any way, your team's going down. You're basically at the mercy of other players and other people, and that kind of stinks a little bit. Yeah. I mean, overall, I think this game could have been a whole lot better. I feel in a way that this game, it's good, but it's not great for me. I still had a lot of fun with it, but some people I think didn't quite find it enjoyable. It didn't live up to expectations, in my opinion. Yeah, if I had to give this a letter grade, I'd give it a B. I mean, it's a good game for me. Not great, it's good. I definitely recommend that if you get the opportunity to play it at a friend's house, play it first, and then decide if you want to buy it or not. And for me, as painful as it is for me to say this, I'm going to give it a C, because it had the right presentation, it had the right idea, and I had high hopes for it, but it just fell short. It really did fall short for me, because it's just, there's not enough to it, there's not enough variety, it's too simple, it's too basic, and quite honestly, with the number of games that are coming out later in the year, this game I really think is going to be thrown under the rug. They're going to have to come up with some really amazing DLC, and not just new monsters or hunters, but new maps and maybe even new modes for this game to survive throughout the summer. But I mean, all in all, this game really will depend upon how you feel about it. For me, I enjoyed it. For you, missed opportunity. Yeah, so, agreed. Yeah, so a B for me. C. There you go.
On the positive side, the presentation and sound in this game is very, very well done. Every single hunter and monster in this game has their own unique abilities that really differs from each other, so you'll always find a character you'll like to play as. And finally, if you're a big fan of multiplayer modes where it's team-based only, you're going to find a lot to love in Evolve.
On the negative side, however, there's really no story. You have all these characters with great personalities, but they don't really go anywhere with them. They don't push it further enough. When it comes to the modes, there's really not much of a variety. It's just basic, you versus the monster, kill it, and that's it. There's really no variety in action. There's no progression in the missions. It's just drop into the zone and take care of business.
Alright gamers, hope you enjoyed our quick review on Evolve here in the War Room. My name's Rebel X, this is Roland McCulley, and we're going to be seeing you guys next time. We're going to be doing a review on Battlefield Hardline along with some other gameplay tips and tricks vids. Until then, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the War Room. Until then, we'll see you guys next time here in the War Room.